Hello and welcome to this pit stop for Dare to Love, a game designed by Chih-Fan Chen and published by Mizo games. It's for 3 to 4 players, takes around 60 minutes to play. In Dare to Love, the game is set in a fantasy empire of Asomroth, and in that empire, a new political order has come to power, and part of their agenda is anti-homosexual. There's been a pogrom overnight, and they've collected many of the homosexuals in the land up, and they've collected them in these crystal prisons. And it's a one versus many game, and the one is going to play the part of the oligarch attempting to quell the rebels who are attempting to free their loved ones from these crystal prisons within the 13 rounds, which corresponds to the night. Otherwise, their loved ones are lost forever. At the beginning of the game, each of the players is going to choose a character. Now, for the rebels, they can choose from apostate or a priest, Duchess, and there are many different characters, and they all come with their own deck of cards, which individual strengths and weaknesses, and also with their own acrylic figure to represent them on the board, and with this pretty fantastic artwork. On their turn, each of the players, including the oligarch, is going to choose a card from their hand, and simultaneously they will all be revealed, and they're going to get resolved in initiative order, starting from the highest number played down to the lowest. Now, each of the players is going to have options on their turn, and they'll have chosen from a hand of 4 cards, and they can use cards from their hand to fuel what they wish to do. Some of the basic things they're going to do is going to be able to move around the board, and then they're going to be able to attack. And you can have range attack or melee attack, and every time you attack, you're going to have to roll the dice. And you're either going to be attacking against the oligarch themselves, because that's one of the 2 things they have to do to win the game, is reduce the oligarch's health to 0. But the other thing they can do to attack is to attack these crystal prisoners themselves. They each have 4 health. Now, when you're attacking, you're either going to be looking to roll swords or you're going to be looking to roll bows into this dice tower provided. There are ways in which you can miss if you roll too many exclamation marks. And there's also defenses which other players can play by their stances and have themselves less likely to be hit. Now, when you do attack these crystal prisons, if you ever reduce the health of one down to 4, you will free the prisoner in there. Each of the characters you've chosen at the beginning of the game is going to have a particular prisoner linked to them, and that will be one of those up here, 2 or 3 depending on the number of players in the game. When you free them, it will cause a power to go to the person. So this happens to be the priest's son that's been freed here, and that one pushes the round token back 1 space, giving you more time to complete what you're trying to do. And you've got the prince's lover, and the apostate's former religious leader has been replaced by the Grand Inquisitor here, and there are various connections to the prisoners between the characters in the game. As well as that one-off power, also at the beginning of the game, each of the rebels is going to choose from this talent deck. You get drawn a card, and they're going to give you one-off powers you can use during the game, like the Rainbow Seal, which will block off 2 spaces on the board, or you might have a Shatter Shot, which will do 2 automatic damage to one of these crystal prisons, or maybe even Resurrection, which will bring you back when you die with just 1 health to hopefully help out in the battle. Now, on the oligarch side, this character here is the Grand Inquisitor, and they also come with their own deck of cards, with their own initiative and their own powers. But they get all 6 cards in the hand at all times. These guys have got a deck of 8 from which they'll always have 4 available. And they also have their own powers and their own strengths and weaknesses. The Grand Inquisitor likes to set traps and explode things over in hexes away from them. They can also take mind control over the rebels and take control of them and play cards from their hand for 1 turn. The other oligarchs available are the Emperor, who likes to draw characters into them and then hit everyone around them. Or you could be facing against the Tycoon, which actually has 2 characters, and again likes to manipulate spatially the board and then fire off powerful attacks in straight lines. Whichever you're playing against, whichever you're playing with, the rebels are trying to defeat the oligarch and also free the prisoners within the 13 rounds, whereas the oligarch is attempting to either defeat the rebels or make the game last the full 13 rounds. One of those 2 sides will be the winner in your game of Dare to Love. This has been a Game Pit Stop. For more videos like this, check out our YouTube channel, or for in-depth coverage of games, please check out the Game Pit podcast.